I've seen a lot of posts about the Big Meech concert getting canceled. What I'm not seeing is anybody blaming Rick Ross for this shit. Nobody is saying, yo, Rick Ross, it's your fault.
So Big...
I already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal.
Tent says he gave the BMF family $5 million legal dollars, so he does not understand where the money went, how Little Meech blew it before Big Meech got out of jail, but he feels extremely betrayed after that picture got taken between Big Meech and Rick Ross after he got out of jail. Now we know Rick Ross has this song where he's like, I think I'm Big Meech. Larry Hoover, and that's the Big Meech that gets portrayed by Little Meech on the TV show BMF Power, produced by 50 Cent. And it's ironic, right? I mean, it'd be kind of easy to see why the real Big Meech would like that song by Ross, but if 50 Cent gives your family, you know, $5 million in cash, whether it's through acting, I think he was paying for acting lessons for Lil Meech, you gotta have some appreciation. And you know, before more details unfolded, like $5 million, because people were like, oh, 50 Cent doesn't pay people, he's always suing people. Look how he paid Ghost from Power less than Mary J. Blige on Power Book. But if Little Meech got $5 million and he's nobody except the son of somebody famous, then he definitely could have treaded carefully with this Rick Ross thing. I don't think Rick Ross even gave him $1 million for whatever they did. It was a picture, it was an event. I doubt it was $1 million. I doubt it was 500,000. I doubt it was 200,000. I think it was $100,000 or less, whatever Big Meech did for Ross, and he sold his relationship with 50 for a $100,000 picture, basically.
Big Meech finally snapped out of his illusions, realizing that his grand comeback wasn't going as planned. He thought he was about to reclaim his legendary status, but instead he found himself caught in a storm of setbacks. And at the center of it all, Rick Ross. Ross made it seem like he had Meech's back, flashing cash, talking big, and hyping up an epic return. But when it was time for real action, that supposed loyalty faded, leaving Meech scrambling to pick up the pieces. His highly anticipated comeback concert shut down before it even started. The $1 million deal with 50 Cent completely off the table. And Ross, he quietly stepped away, refocusing on his own brand and business. Now fans can't help but wonder, was this a setup from the start? Did Rick Ross play a part in Meech's downfall? And more importantly, is there any way for Meech to recover from this? Big Meech's return from prison was supposed to be a moment of triumph. He likely assumed he would step back into his old world with ease, regaining control like he never left. But reality had a different plan. The streets had evolved, alliances had shifted, and the game wasn't the same anymore. Meech quickly learned that navigating this new landscape wouldn't be as simple as picking up where he left off. One of his first major moves was linking up with Rick Ross, who wasted no time flashing stacks of money in his direction. At first glance, it might seem odd for someone like Meech, a man who once commanded a multi-million-dollar empire and even had a lucrative deal with 50 Cent, to be enticed by another man's money. But the truth is, the financial situation had changed drastically. The BMF empire was long gone, and whatever money was left from his deal with 50 had already been spent. Desperate to re-establish himself, Meech saw Ross as a potential lifeline and distanced himself from 50 in the process. His son, Lil Meech, was also expected to contribute financially, but he was dealing with his own struggles. With both father and son facing financial troubles, the Meech household was in dire need of a plan to turn things around. Rick Ross, sensing an opportunity, stepped in with grand promises. He presented himself as the solution to Meech's problems, positioning himself as a savior who could help Meech rebuild his name and fortune. When 50 Cent started making moves against Big Meech, Ross stood by him, speaking boldly as if he was ready for a battle. But words alone wouldn't be enough to make a real difference. The first step in Ross's so-called Big Meech rehabilitation plan was to flood him with cash. And the quickest way to do that? A massive benefit concert. Ross partnered with XO Touring and AG Touring to organize an event that was advertised as a major celebration of Meech's return, promising an impressive lineup of artists to draw in a huge crowd. Ross did everything he could to push the concert, hyping it up and ensuring it had plenty of attention. For a brief moment, it seemed like things were finally moving in the right direction for Meech. But just when he thought he was about to make a triumphant return, he faced one of the biggest disappointments of his life. Mere hours before the show was set to begin, the Amarant Bank Arena made a shocking announcement. The event was officially canceled. Their statement read, "Due to unforeseen circumstances, tonight's show has been canceled. Refunds will be available at the point of purchase." Just like that, the event that was supposed to be a turning point for Big Meech was completely shut down. The sudden cancellation left many people suspicious, with speculation quickly turning toward 50 Cent. Given his influence and his ongoing conflict with Big Meech and Rick Ross, some believed that 50 had pulled strings behind the scenes to ensure that the event never took place. Wack 100, a well-known industry insider, was convinced that 50 Cent had something to do with it. He openly claimed that 50 had the power to get Big Meech and Rick Ross blackballed from the industry, effectively preventing them from moving forward with their plans. Whether or not 50 Cent was directly involved in the cancellation, one thing was clear. Big Meech's comeback was off to a disastrous start, and his future in the industry was now more uncertain than ever. With his concert canceled, his relationship with 50 Cent destroyed, and Rick Ross seemingly stepping away, the question remains, can Big Meech recover from this setback, or has his time truly passed? 50 Cent wasted no time making sure Big Meech knew exactly where he stood. After news broke that the comeback concert had been canceled, 50 took to social media to make a statement. He posted an image of the cancellation announcement with a caption dripping in sarcasm. "I had nothing to do with this. Please stop calling my phone. I sincerely hope you have a nice day today. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm stronger than you think I am." But that wasn't all. 50 made sure to double down on the embarrassment. He shared a video from an online personality, Zip with the Drip, who was discussing how Lil Baby and other artists had reportedly pulled out of the event. Adding to the humiliation, 50 added his own caption, throwing another jab. The funny part is they were saying Lil Baby pulled up on them in a Ferrari truck, pockets full of money, and didn't give them a dime. Lil Baby was 5 years old when you got indicted. Why would he owe you anything? Tammy Cowan's coming soon. Just like that, any hope Big Meech had of using the concert to turn things around vanished. What was supposed to be his chance at redemption instead turned into another loss. And now everyone is left wondering how he's handling the fallout and what he might do next. But the bigger question isn't just about Meech, it's about Rick Ross. After talking such a big game about bringing Meech back into the spotlight and restoring his influence, Ross has suddenly gone silent. He was the one who stepped in, made promises, and encouraged Meech to cut ties with 50 Cent. So where is he now? Instead of standing by Meech, Ross has seemingly walked away. When the concert was officially canceled, Ross barely acknowledged it. He made a brief 5-second statement in a video before immediately shifting focus to promoting his own album. His response made it clear that he wasn't overly concerned with what Meech was going through. And now Ross is completely consumed with his own projects, leaving Meech to deal with the aftermath alone. Fans have taken notice, and many think it's unfair considering Ross played a major role in convincing Meech to distance himself from 50 Cent in the first place. If that had never happened, Meech wouldn't have needed the concert as a way to make money. He could have just continued benefiting from his deal with 50. It's hard to feel too bad for Meech, though, because this situation was completely avoidable. Many people online had already pointed out that Ross wasn't truly looking out for him, and yet Meech chose to ignore the warning signs. Industry insiders, including Wack 100, had repeatedly warned that Ross's involvement was more about clout than genuine support. This became even more obvious when 50 shared screenshots of text messages from Lil Meech, where the younger Meech confronted him about the way he was publicly attacking his father. The messages read, "They just told me you unfollowed me on Instagram, and now you're managing Skilla Baby and Rocket when I was the one who introduced them to you first. When you didn't even know who they were. Now you're mad at me when I would literally give you the shirt off my back. I can't believe this, man. You act like I'm your enemy. I've only ever shown you love and loyalty. I'm human. I go through struggles too, but I never turned on you." Lil Meech also attempted to defend his father's decision to work with Rick Ross, explaining that it was purely for financial reasons. But at this point, it's clear that no explanation is going to change 50's mind. As it stands, Big Meech is stuck. He turned away from the one person who actually helped him re-enter the industry, and in return, he was left stranded by the very people he chose over 50. With his comeback concert in ruins, his TV deal gone, and Rick Ross no longer by his side, Meech now faces the reality that he might have played himself out of the game entirely. Instead, he responded bluntly, making it clear that there wouldn't be another season of BMF for Lil Meech to look forward to. He even went a step further, poking fun at Big Meech's financial struggles. On Instagram, 50 shared an image of a GoFundMe page with the caption, "Help Big Screech pay his $30,000 a month Airbnb. That's one of P's cribs. Shout out to quality control." It was a clear jab at how dire Meech's situation had become. Meanwhile, Rick Ross seemed to be offering hope with another big promise. He posted on his Instagram stories, "I want to do a real BMF movie. Theaters only." Which director? Antoine Fuqua or Quentin Tarantino? He even mentioned the idea again in a video clip, making it seem like he was serious about the project. But fans aren't holding their breath. After all, Ross couldn't even organize a concert successfully. How is he supposed to pull off a major Hollywood film? His track record hasn't exactly inspired confidence, and many believe this is just another empty promise. Unfortunately, Big Meech isn't the only one suffering from the fallout. His entire family has been affected by the choices he made. When 50 Cent was running the BMF series, he made sure that Big Meech's family members had executive producer credits, ensuring that they were financially secure. But now that the deal with 50 is over, they've lost that income as well. Despite how things have played out, Big Meech isn't ready to take responsibility for the mess he's in. Instead, he's shifting the blame to Rick Ross. Even if he didn't see this outcome coming, he should have known that siding with Ross over 50 was a risky move. Now the big question remains, can Big Meech recover from this situation, or is this the end of the road for him? And will he hold Ross accountable for leading him down this path? Share your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for more updates.